We're live.
Oh, hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Just
Hello.
double checking everything real quick.
Hello.
Yeah, everything seems to be
Good to be
good.
here.
It's always good to be here. Always, I'm so happy we get a chance to meet and chat about stuff. So anybody that's listening, this is the Sandpit, episode 5. On the mic, it's myself, Tom, and then we have Stoba.
There's no way we're on episode 5 already.
We're on episode
That's
5.
counting the first one as 0? So it's
Yes.
like 6?
Yes.
That's crazy, dude. I feel like we started these a week ago.
Yeah, man. It is. Very surprised about it. Not really surprised. I'm very happy about it. Let's put it that way. We also have Abe.
Hello, I'm the token Mexican.
He, he is the token Mexican. He is Abe and Stober are both amazing friends I've had throughout my life. Uh, Always have very good perspectives that I may overlook or not see. Um, the Sandpit is where we just kind of get together and we talk about different topics, um, and kind of go from there. If man, I think that's
I
kind of
don't know, man. Amazing seems like a high bar. I feel like I'm an okay friend.
no. I think amazing.
I don't think I've like cut you any checks or like picked you up at the airport at 3 a.m., man. I think I'm okay.
Yeah, but I feel like you would if you could. Um, Both of you, really. I think you're not giving yourself enough
You know,
credit.
I don't think you give yourself enough. I think you've been a great friend to me.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
I appreciate
Oh
it.
yeah, likewise. You really did me a solid that one time you picked me up at the bus stop.
Yeah, I'm so happy I got a chance to do that. It was um a different experience, but like very happy I went through with you. We watched some Hunter x
Yeah.
Hunter. You introduced me to that, and I still need to finish it. Um,
Yeah, me too, man.
it's
I feel like I made it pretty deep and it still sucked.
rough. I liked it for the most part. Um,
It started getting better. I think I was in like a prison arc or something. I don't remember where I was.
yeah, I like
The
the
clown guy was starting to become more of an ally than like an enemy.
yeah. I think that's around the time I started to stop watching, but I liked where it was going.
Yeah, every time I talked about it, people were like, "It's about to get good. Stick with it," and I just didn't. I think I went back and I watched all of Deep Space Nine instead.
Lately I've been watching Dan to Dan. I like that show a lot.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
It's enjoyable.
I
Anyway,
heard it's unusually horny. Can
um,
you confirm or deny?
deny. I
Well, I'm definitely not gonna watch it now.
I think it has a good chunk of fan service, but like not in the like in a perverted way or like where it's
It can still be horny without explicitly being hentai.
that's true. I would say it's a love story between the two main protagonists
Okay, okay.
of budding love where they are slowly falling for each other type of deal.
It's
Um,
like a coming of age thing where they're both like
yeah,
16 or something.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But of course, including typical anime stuff like they see you well, see, the main protagonist doesn't really seem to care if she gets seen in her underwear, but like there's other characters that do, and I mean, there's certain things
Right.
about it where, yeah, I mean, it's anime. Yeah, it is what it is.
Of course, of course.
So today I think we're going to talk about lying. Um,
Lying.
yeah, lying.
Okay, all right.
Hmm.
I want to talk a bit about some political stuff with our current president.
Oh shit. This podcast is about to get divisive.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, you just said we were going to talk about lying. I figured that's what you meant.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping we get to paranormal. I'm I want to talk a little about the Atlas again. Not much, but
Oh, hell yeah.
you see that people are saying that it's a lot wider than they originally thought, or bigger than they originally
Really?
thought. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Oh
Like
my.
I think fuck, I forgot. I think I want to see like 1,400 meters or something.
Over a kilometer?
Yeah.
Damn.
Um, that or ghost stories of our personal experiences. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. How's it sound
I
to you
love I
guys?
love the paranormal section, man. I got ghost stories for days.
I do too, man. I love the paranormal section. It's a nice break from what we talked about. To be real with you. Um, Also nice to just kind of record the things that have happened with us.
Yeah, yeah, get the stories out there, get them recorded,
Yeah.
you know. After we're dead, the stories would die with us.
God, that's so
Let's
true.
get it out there for the people.
Yes. So, lying. I
Never done it. Very honest.
it's it's a bold face lie to start it off. I think it's perfect. Um, I personally believe and feel that every single person in the world lies or has a secret that they're willing to always lie about no matter what. And if they don't feel that way, they're lying to themselves.
Maybe they're just really boring.
I mean, yeah, I could definitely see that. Um, I think that the kaleidoscope of people, there's definitely going to be at least a few that sure they probably never lie or whatever, but to sit there and think that the person sitting across from you isn't holding something back, I think that's again lying to yourself.
I I think we're being very broad, right? I think there's a certain level of mental sophistication that it takes to lie, right?
Hmm.
First, you have to have like your theory of mind, which is like the idea that other people have their own thought process and perceptions and can perceive the world differently from you, which is like a childhood developmental thing that kids get, I don't know, when they're like 1.5 or something. So if you're really, really stupid, maybe you can't lie. Maybe you don't understand that different people have like different perspectives of the world. So maybe there's really innocent, dumb people out there that don't even understand the concept of lying.
I'll give you that. I'll say I'll give you that. I think you're right. A little broad on my statement. Um,
Yeah, and I'm one of those people.
no, no,
Very simple,
no, you're not. So,
very honest.
so with lying, we're gonna pull a little bit from Stoba in my pool. If Abe, you have a story or anything, feel free to talk about as well. Um, kind of want to talk about different things we've lied about, why we lied about them, and why I would say we felt it was acceptable to lie. Part of that being the understanding that lying, the lie that we're telling and trying to convince somebody else of what the lie is, basically why, God, I can't word it. I have it like on the tip of my tongue.
Well, I think there's a difference between like a lie, which is like a, you're trying to deceive,
Hmm.
right? You're trying to spin a story or a narrative that will fundamentally mislead someone into believing something that isn't true, right? Whereas if you're telling a joke that maybe requires embellishment of the truth or saying something so fundamentally absurd that absolutely no one would ever believe it, that's not a lie, that's a joke.
So,
Like when you go into Fantastic Sam's and you're getting a haircut and they're like, "Hey, so what do you do for a living?" And you say, "Oh, I'm a tugboat captain."
but
Obviously nobody's going to believe that.
Stoba,
That's just a joke that you laugh
with
at,
with
right?
what with what you said that there's people out there that are so dumb or so unable to perceive that the other person's lying. You're saying that there will still be somebody that goes, okay, you're a tugboat captain, and how do you like doing that?
You you don't know you're running into those people until you're in too deep to back out.
So we'll talk a little bit about that then. Let's start with a story we have from Final Fantasy XIV. I always bring it up
Oh
because it's
God.
amazing.
Oh God.
Because I warned the lady, I told her very much. I said, don't trust Stoba. Don't trust what the words he's telling you. He is lying to you, as I laughed about it, and she chose to believe you. It was amazing, I have to say. Um, I think Stoba is very good at convincing people of jokes that he's telling them
Yeah, thank you.
that are obvious, pretty obvious.
Obviously jokes
Obviously, jokes that when somebody asks you what you do for a living and you tell them that
that you're a pediatric hematologist who
something.
plays Final Fantasy 12 hours a day. You'd think they'd obviously get that that's a joke.
No, no, no. People find time, man. You never know.
Oh,
You could be on
oh, I
vacation.
feel bad. I
So,
feel really bad when I say that and then people just take it at face value. I feel like my sense of humor has evolved a lot in the last, 20 years.
hmm
Maybe I wouldn't do that these days. Maybe I realize it's kind of fucked up to toy with people like they're little mice.
like they're part of the game.
Yeah, I feel bad about that one. I do.
You should to a degree. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
you didn't at the time, but it's good to like reflect back and
I've grown. I've grown as a person.
so
I realize that my words have, emotional impact, and I should be, careful with them.
God, you're such a good liar. It's amazing. Um, so
Fucked up, dude. I was opening my heart to you.
I
Oh
know,
no.
I know. Um, I'm glad that you see that. But man, so and again with Final Fantasy and certain things I like to just like anybody else. Um, there's always something that I feel, this person doesn't need to know that. Um, I I don't think I've lied to the degree that you have, where it's obviously joking that you're an astronaut or something crazy.
It comes from a place of
It
well-meaning,
it does.
right? From an early age, I've gotten my money off of government disability. And when you're in social situations and people are asking polite questions about what you do for a living, when you're like, oh, I'm on the dole, I collect money from the government, it really makes people feel awkward for
hmm
asking that question. So to soften the blow, I try to come up with creative, fun jobs that kind of just, get us off that topic and we all have a good laugh. But that people believe you.
No.
And not everybody, but like 1 in 10 believes you, and then you feel even worse. But it comes from a good place. It doesn't come from a mean place of trying to mislead.
But
Now,
you
now I will.
go for it.
So I will. I will back you up in terms of sometimes. a lie is just social lubricant in that way because I definitely don't go into my former drug use with like everyday people anymore because I used to be really honest about it and it would make people uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and so what I do now is I do like, oh, well, I used to be into drugs, but I don't go into the details. I mean, technically that's lying by omission, right? Like they don't need to know that I was sticking needles in my arm for like a few years there.
Yeah.
Like they could just fill in the blanks, but it's still technically lying
Huh.
by omission. So
Sometimes honesty makes people way more uncomfortable than just like a easy social white lie.
That's very true. Speaking from personal experience, I had a buddy who, the first time I ever met him, more or less, he took me home from work. We both worked at the same place. And, like, on the way home, he told me how he's been a year so, or he just got out of a rehabilitation place, I believe. Trying to remember correctly, but it had been like a year since he had stopped using black tar heroin. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, oh, I hope this guy doesn't rob me. Um, we ended up we ended up becoming amazing friends after that. After like we sat and chat a bit, but it definitely puts you on guard when somebody tells you something that is very drastically different than what you're used to.
Yeah.
At the same time, lying to them about something that that degree, I feel like once they find out, it can be soul crushing for some certain people. For some people, or maybe not soul crushing, but a very what else is he lying about? Um, so in Final Fantasy 14, we used to raid. We would churn through raiders to every few months, whatever.
You
People,
have a healthy fall off when you're doing that, right? You got
yeah,
to replace a person every 3 months or something.
yeah. Something goes bad. Somebody wants to do something else. Somebody, their friends want to do something, whatever. Uh,
It's a big time commitment, right? People's
mm-hmm.
schedules change.
Yes, yes, very much so. So we had this one lady who joined us. She was a very interesting person. I felt like she was very honest about a lot of stuff. Um, and one day she asked Stova, "What do you do for a living?" I, at the time, was, along with everybody else, this happened after a raid had happened. I went to go grab food. I came back like about 20 minutes later. Her and Stova were mid-conversation. Uh, so
I
she,
think you might remember this better than me,
I
to be honest.
I do. I know I do. Um, that's something too I've noticed with lying with you is you're really good about zoning that lie out in your head.
Thanks. Thank you, man.
You're
Really
welcome.
appreciate that.
You're welcome. Which I mean, it's good because, like you said, to you it's just a joke. It's just you're just having fun more or less. That makes sense for it to not stick with you. But every time that I have brought up any of these types of jokes, you do always show remorse for it. I will say. Um, but
Thank you. I feel like I have grown, you know, a little bit.
a little bit. But this lady asked Stoba what he did, and Stoba told her that he was, what was it again, a child.
A pediatric hematologist.
There you go, pediatric hematologist. So when she told him that, I remember hearing that, and I told her outright. I said, "He's lying to you. Don't believe him. He's just fucking with you. Um, he doesn't do it." And she refused to believe me. Uh,
Well, it's your word against mine. Like,
yeah,
why
yeah.
wouldn't she believe a pediatric hematologist?
So
What a salt of the
exactly.
earth.
she started asking you questions about your job, and you're this with lying. You did the key thing that everybody does with lying, that they need to do if they're trying to lie, which is um, making that person believe the lie that you're telling them, no matter how absurd it could be.
Well, you need to know a kernel of truth
Mm-hmm.
about like the job role when you lie about your job specifically, right? Like if you say you're a nuclear engineer, you got to know a little bit about it. You have to have watched like a YouTube video or read the Wikipedia so you
Yeah.
can say some smart person words to back it up. And I know plenty of I know plenty of hematology words, right? I know about platelets, blood types A, B, C, D, E, F, G, plus minus O. You know,
You
I
you
could talk the talk.
you can. You really can. You're
Yeah,
extremely good at doing that with
pretty
so
good with
many.
tugboats too.
Yep.
Ask me anything about tugboats.
I remember when you said that one time, to somebody like mid-raid, I just stopped. I remember just not being able to continue that fight. Um, but anyways, yes, you're extremely good about that, and I think that's what a lot of people practice is being selective on how they lie and the words and being selective about the words that they use, which will segue into tr Trump and stuff a little bit later. But anyways, um,
I have found that people would rather believe an interesting lie than a boring truth,
yes,
right? So when I tell someone I'm really a pediatric hematologist and you say, no, they're lying to you, my lie is just more interesting, so they're going to choose to believe that.
yes, that's true. I feel like I really do feel like that's kind of how it went because I even like doubled down on it and tried to convince her that you weren't lying, but
And honestly, that's why I choose to believe in Bigfoot. It's just more fun to
mhm,
believe in an interesting lie than a boring truth.
that's so true. Um, so this lady believed you outright. Uh, had myself and a few other people tell her that that's not true. She still believed him. Um,
Yeah, I don't know why.
why? What?
Like
Why?
she was married, she had a kid,
Hmm.
she was like fully invested in her own life, but she just believed me when like three people told her I was lying outright. Maybe maybe I'm the bad guy.
Oh, definitely, definitely the bad guy. Um,
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You assume she was married and had a kid. Maybe she was lying too.
hmm.
Oh shit. I never
Hmm.
considered. I've been played for a
See?
fool.
It's that's true. We never had any way of confirming the stuff she told us about her child and her
I,
marriage.
shit, she could have been a tugboat captain.
She could have been
Yeah,
the real
yeah.
tugboat captain. Um,
But playing you like guys like a fiddle.
she was a very odd duck, to be real with you. I remember she had altercation with one of the other team members on our raid group, and she misinterpreted what you had said, um, as if
Oh
you
man.
were going to leave everything and all that stuff, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
now, do you think that maybe she misinterpreted you because of the way that she believed you,
I
like a cult
I
leader?
think I think we're being too broad. I think we have to describe exactly what happened,
Okay.
which was she got in a fight with like another officer,
Hmm.
and I don't know. She had like through talking to me, she thought I was like an ally and that I would join her in like leaving the guild and starting a new group or something.
Hmm.
When in reality, she came to me after a raid and was complaining about how tough it was and how bad her parses were. And I was like, yeah, that shit sucks. I totally see where you're coming from.
Hmm.
And she took that as like tacit support for like a political revolution
Yeah.
when it was really just like, yeah, shit sucks, bro.
Yeah.
And she just misread that. So I think overall we can say she had really bad judgment as a human being for believing me in the first place. And then secondly for thinking I would like start some kind of fucking revolution with her.
So I agree with you, 100%. Always have with that. Um, I think that her belief structure uh, is what was off more than anything.
Yeah.
Mm,
I think it's easy to misjudge like how important you are in someone else's life.
mm-hmm.
Like what can be to you like a very small interaction where you talk to someone for 5 minutes and then you immediately forget about it can be like a lifeline that someone else is leaning on and thinks about all night, right?
Yeah.
And that's more than just like Final Fantasy bullshit, right? That's like being nice to someone at a restaurant, waving, saying hi to someone at a grocery store. It can mean a lot more to some people than to others. And I think for that lady in particular, she had a lot more value in her relationship with me than I had in my relationship with her. Cause man, I said all that kind of bullshit to tons of people. I
Yeah.
barely remember it.
Yeah.
For me, it was a Tuesday.
God, the best
Well, I mean,
quote ever.
how often do you get to meet a pediatric hematologist? So yeah, I
That's
bet you
true.
were
That
Yeah.
bigger in her life. Yeah.
that too. I didn't think of that. The lie was about something that was way more interesting than anything, like you said, um, would be. So, could the outrageousness of the lie be what convinces them that it's like kind of like you just said a little bit ago? The
Oh man, you saying I catfished her? Oh
Yeah,
shit.
no, no. I mean, you kind of did, but no.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, now I feel even worse.
She's still out there wondering how you're doing with your pediatric hemat
Doing the work.
doing the work with the blood. Oh man.
Yep.
I
Playing with kids with blood.
yes. I also didn't help with the lie at all because once I realized she took into his lie completely, I started making fun of the job that he was doing. Um, Started saying, "Oh yeah, it's still he plays with children's blood," stuff like that, to where I feel enforced the well, he is that, and his friends just giving him shit.
By that point, I was in too deep to pull out.
Always, you're always in too deep.
Yeah.
Um, Giving people nightmares, making them feel that you're singling them
Oh
out.
God. Let's just move on.
We'll move on. We'll move on from your specific lies.
Oh God, I forgot how deep that well ran.
I
Oh man.
didn't. I did not. I wasn't even part of any of that. I remember just logging on one day and somebody asking me, Tom, I heard you were leaving. I was like, no, what are you talking about? And then they explained it
Oh
to
no.
me. Explained it to me, and how, again, I ran into the same scenario where it was just like, yeah, that sucks with this lady. And she ran with it. But this is a different person we're talking about. Still has many years of lying under his belt. Um,
I think I'm dissociated from some of those.
100%.
Wow. Wow.
It's okay though. Like I said, we all do it. In my personal opinion, we all disassociate from our lives as well. It's one of the reasons why I feel like,
What's what's like a common lie like both of you tell?
hmm,
Yeah, everybody's got one, right?
that I'm okay or that I'm all right.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that one kind of common for men, right?
Hmm.
Hey, good morning. How you
Like
doing?
people.
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah,
Doing great.
yeah,
Yeah,
Beautiful morning.
yeah,
Great weather.
beautiful day. Love being here.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
my common line.
oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
No, I was just saying, it's just one of those lies of necessity. It's
Hmm.
just like they don't really 99% of the time, like they don't really care how you're
Mm-hmm.
doing. They're you know, it's almost oh, instead of a actual question, it's I think it's almost to be taken as I hope you're doing
Yeah.
in the form of how you doing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. Um, I know there's people out there that also are very honest about like how you doing. Oh well, my mother died yesterday or something of that nature. Just they're not to that degree. I'm jumping way ahead of.
Dude,
Yeah.
I had one of those a few weeks ago. I was taking my sister in for like a doctor appointment, and the nurse was doing the intake. She came in to take the blood pressure, talk about all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She said it was my birthday this Sunday, and I just started this new job on Monday. It's like, wow, that's a lot going on one day. Happy birthday. She said, oh, the day before my birthday, my mother was murdered. She was shot.
Jesus.
Wow.
So mother shot, then birthday, then starting a new job. You don't get time off on a new job. I was
No.
like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
That is. That's a rough thing to deal with. I had one guy who I was getting into his Uber and I asked how he's doing. He goes, "Well, I just got off the phone and found out that my brother was killed in a car accident." I was like, "Oh, that's terrible." It's like, "Oh man, I wish I didn't ask."
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
rough.
especially since you just got into this Uber. Like,
Mm-hmm.
shit, do you drive better than your brother? Or
It's fucking rough.
hey,
Yeah,
well, I mean, come
I
on.
did think that though. I did think that. I was like, man, I hope you're not thinking about ending it all with me in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Um,
But there's like no socially acceptable response to that,
mm-mm.
right? That's a situation that comes up so rarely. You don't have like a platitude to say to that. It's like, wow, shit sucks. Fucking, I'll tip you good and give you 5 stars, bro.
Yeah,
Let's get through this together.
yeah.
Well, I mean, and maybe that's sort of the thing with lying, right? Like, a lot of stuff that we like to cling to just to get by day is sort of a lie, right? Like the whole process of when someone dies. Like, I mean, oh, there's this, you go this, you file this, you make the arrangements. Well, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
kind of all a lie. That person's gone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Maybe we lie to ourselves and others to avoid confronting like difficult emotions or difficult truths.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of for me, especially when we used to play Final Fantasy. That was how it was for me. Asking what
Yeah.
I did for a living, things of that nature. It's hard explaining to somebody uh, what was going on in my life. I would rather
Yeah.
just ignore it and move on.
Maybe that's why I did it too.
Hey, but you're so good at the keyword phrasing, use of keywords to get them to believe. Um, I
Is
don't.
that a compliment?
Yes, yeah, to a degree, yes. Um, it's also it depends on how you view being good at lying. I think that it's amazing, uh,
Fuck, man.
depending on what you do.
I never would have said like top 10 skills like lying is one of my greatest. And you're over here going like that's your best skill, dude. You're amazing at lying.
Well,
Why don't you do it more often?
it's just speech. I mean, really, the ability to like looking at it from like a fallout perspective of your stats or something. It's speech. Um, you're
Damn,
good.
dude, maybe I should get into politics.
You're good.
charisma.
Yes, charisma. You're good at convincing somebody of something that you want them to think of in that moment. You may not be thinking of the long term, but in that moment, 100%. Um,
Wow.
which is it's a good skill in my opinion. The way you use it, that's where you may want to look at if it's good or not for
Well, if I
you.
used it for evil, that'd be unconscionable.
I think you'd be fine. I think there's, I think there's enough in the world where of evil that it wouldn't matter. Um,
I don't know. You could totally lie for evil, man.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I've So here at the sober living I manage, there's been a few people that definitely fall for the online liars that want
Hmm.
that scam them for money, and that's definitely they call it pig slaughter apparently. Like they attack them financially and emotionally because
Yep.
these are lonely people, and so they use the emotions to get their finances. It's just it's even with nothing basically.
Hmm.
That's actually predatory.
Yeah,
I've
Yeah,
never made a cent off of any of my lies.
that's true.
that's because you're a good person. You're a good
Yes.
person as much as you are a good liar.
Thank you. Thank you.
Being
That's the best compliment I've ever had.
being a good liar doesn't make you a bad person. Like I
No.
said, it depends on how you use it. Um, so yeah, no, I agree with Abe on that. I think you're a good person. You're just an amazing liar. Um, not saying that you lie all the time either. I want to make sure that's straight as well.
What the hell of a backhanded compliment, man.
I know it's the only type I know how to do. Um, I myself, to get through scenarios, I will lie. I will decide on what the person needs to know and doesn't need to know. And that partly comes from the way I grew up, the amount of times I moved, and also my time in management, where I can't tell this person I'm going to fire them tomorrow, but I need to make sure that they think that they're not getting fired tomorrow. Um, to get through a conversation, I feel a good majority of people will lie or need to lie.
I think so, man. I think sometimes there's just like you aren't prepared to answer truthfully, man.
Yes.
You ever been like with the girlfriend and it's, things are going good and then she's like, "So what's your darkest, most twisted fantasy?" And you're like, "Nope, can't say that.
Having normal sex.
Gotta dial this one back just a little bit to be believable."
I gotta wait till we're married for me to tell her the truth.
Yeah, you need to sign a document.
I got NDR for you. NDA? What? Non-disclosure agreement?
Yep.
NDA,
NDA.
NDA.
Yeah. Um. And you know what? There's some people that are like that too. But anyways, uh, segueing from that to Trump, um, who is somebody who I think does what Stoba does. I feel he does it way worse than Stoba.
The fuck on, man. You can't directly compare me to that guy. What the fuck?
Okay, let me
Oh God.
let me rephrase that. Um, I think that Trump is good about repeating the key words, but only repeating the key words without having anything to back it up. I feel like, and also using it for again evil for his own self gain off of other people, grifting people, things of that nature. He's a con artist. Um,
I think he legitimately has a superpower. And that superpower is that he believes his own lies.
yes. So
And when you believe your own lies, good God, it sounds so real coming out of your mouth.
yes. So I remember watching a stand-up comedian Wanda Sykes a long time ago,
Yeah.
where she talked about Bill Clinton, I think it was at the time, um, and she said, with lying, all you have to do is believe your lie. Once you believe your lie, it sounds truthful. And then she, did her impression or whatever
Yeah.
and made it in kind of to give the example of it. And it's
Right.
true. It's if you believe that lie, then that's your truth. Um, I feel like that's what Trump does. He believes his own lie. So,
Yep, I 100% agree.
Hmm.
and I'll say this about Trump for anybody that's wondering, what, I can't think of it. Like, I could go down a very long rabbit hole with him and the con artistry of that he's always had. But really, just look at anything he's produced. It's always been a cheap knockoff. It's always been um, not not good merchandise. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
What you're paying for is not what you're getting. I told you to, I think, believe, my grandfather used to live in Trump Tower, and he said that it was one of the worst places he's ever lived. Everything looked good, but it would break easily. It was not worth the amount of money he was paying. Um, the I feel like a lot of people kind of go that route of, as long as it looks good, I can make people believe this lie. The facade of it, I would say. I feel like he does amazing with that. But and for anybody out there wondering, I hate the dude. I think he is, again, he's a con artist. He's a carpetbagger. He's trying to sell you something, and you're either buying it or you're not. And if you're not, he's gonna really try to beat it into you that you're wasting your time or whatever. Um, by not, he wants your money, like everybody else in the world. Um, I can't believe the amount of things that he's allowed to do while in office that uh, other presidents aren't allowed to do or not supposed to do, or that there's certain rules that they're supposed to follow and he just does.
I think he realized that there aren't consequences to lying.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're in grade school or you're growing up, lying has consequences, right? You get punished, you get beat. But apparently, if you're a grown ass man who runs the fucking country, you can just lie about everything. There's no fucking consequences, even if you get caught.
Yeah.
So why not?
So, so I have an example, right? My girlfriend, she has a nephew, and this nephew around grade one would just wander around the school when he was supposed to be in class. He'd do whatever he want. And technically they couldn't touch him. They couldn't like force him to be in school. They like in his class, they couldn't like, so
Hmm.
they literally he did not understand the consequences, and there technically wasn't any because what can they really do to the kid, right?
Hmm.
I think this is sort of what it is with Trump, is that he literally is doing things he definitely is not supposed to be doing, but no one can touch him for whatever reason.
We don't specifically have laws against all
Right,
the shit he's
because
doing, apparently.
Yeah.
right, because who would ever think that someone would get to the level he's at
Yeah,
and
we just
start doing the
assumed
things? Yeah,
we assumed they'd have integrity, right? Why do we need to
Hmm.
right,
legislate integrity?
right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he
Oh,
has spun a lie so good he's able to convince people to keep him in office. Um, he's been able to convince people that he's fixing stuff when he's not. Um, the
I feel
love.
like it's actually been worse with having like 4 years of Joe Biden because he had 4 years to plan,
Hmm.
like with intelligent people, like how to systematically like dismantle the federal government
Yeah.
once he got back in power.
Project
And he's been
2025.
doing gangbusters like 8 months in. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's if we weren't in the middle of it and seeing how destructive it was and feeling like the repercussions of that in real time, it would be comical to like look at this through a historical lens
Oh, yes.
instead of a holy shit, this is so fucked up lens.
Yeah, I do wonder how future historians will portray a lot of the stuff that's going on right now, to be real honest with you.
History's written by men who've hung heroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking if Trump stays in power, who knows what's gonna get written about him?
That too, the whole, it doesn't matter who's right or wrong. It's all that matters is who's left.
Yeah, who survives?
Yeah. And I do feel like that's his route. You slowly remove all the naysayers and the people that are against you until you have uh your own country of your own people type of deal.
But it's not even slow.
No.
He's been doing it so fast and so obviously.
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody sees it happening in real time, and we just don't have the tools to stop it, or like the politicians who want to stand up against it because it's political suicide.
Mm-hmm.
I
That
don't know. I don't know enough about politics.
that and
I
he,
know it's fucked.
that and he does stuff like what Roger Stone does, which is get you locked up in the court system where you're just lost forever,
Oh yeah,
losing money constantly. Um,
yeah,
I remember watching, I think John Oliver talked about once about when he was talking about Roger Stone, about that specifically of how it turns into a war of attrition. Who has more money to last longer in the court system? And
yeah. I think they call it a SLAP, SLAPP,
yeah,
which is a
yes,
strategic lawsuit against public participation.
yes, yeah, which
Which is
is,
like, you wouldn't win if it went full term, but you just drag it out with
mm-hmm,
time and money and make people not even want to fight you. Because a lot of people don't even have the resources to fight you.
yes. God, that's the Ocean Gate kind of going back. The main engineer, I think it was the engineer or the driver of the when it first got started, who got fired.
Yeah,
He ended up getting a slap from them, and he said, like in the interview, he talked about how he had to finally let it go because it made him go bankrupt and everything.
yeah. That's fucking awful.
It is. It's terrible. Well, what people with money can do.
Yeah, and not just in the law system, but in
Hmm.
politics too, man.
Yeah.
You can buy people, you can buy votes.
Yeah, and a lot of that just feels like it's what's going on. Um, so I feel like, and I don't get me wrong, I know like all presidents, all politicians lie. That's something that as a kid you always
Yeah.
joked about, talked about. I,
Even your favorite politicians
oh
probably
yeah,
like done some shitty drone strikes or something.
mm-hmm,
Shout outs to Obama.
yeah, um,
That motherfucker killed a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people.
yeah, he did, yeah,
Yep. He also deported a bunch of people.
yeah,
Really?
he's deported more than what Trump has so far.
Damn.
Yeah, but again, everybody lies, to a degree. Some of us just use it to get through conversation, while others use it to gain power over people, mass amounts of people.
Yeah, financial gain,
I think cult leaders
popularity.
um, are
Yeah.
another group of people that do that, of course. Um, God, we should talk about cults sometime. There's a few cults that
Oh yeah.
I remember going through, or not going into, but like
Yeah.
living alongside them, as in like when it happened, like Waco, and when that happened. I remember watching the news with my dad and
Yeah.
stuff. Um,
You remember Heaven's
I
Gate?
was gonna say Heaven's Gate. I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I'm surprised there's not another Heaven's Gate for all these interstellar visitors that we've
That's
had.
that's what I was thinking, man. Atlas 3I or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
dude. This would be a perfect time for another Heaven's Gate to pop up.
Yeah. Just have it planned out to where you're the one that makes sure everybody else is dead before you kill yourself.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
I think I'd want to be the first to go. I,
Man,
I wouldn't want to watch all those people die.
it was pretty peaceful deaths, wasn't it, with Heaven's Gate? I mean, they just took.
Yeah, I think they took barbiturates in the Kool-Aid or something. I think they just fell
Ooh.
asleep pretty peacefully.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how Hendrix went, I think. Barbiturates.
What is
Barbiturates are
barbiturates?
a hell of a drug.
What is that?
They're central nervous system depressants. If you take
Major
them
one.
in large enough doses, they'll slow your breathing, and that's usually what stops you. You just stop breathing.
Now, did you learn that when you were doing the pediatric hemo? I can't say. I can say.
That's it's.
See, that's the thing.
I learned that. Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing.
Through
It's just
medical
textbook
school.
stuff.
That's the thing. Stoba, he is extremely well versed in medical stuff, in my personal opinion, because of all the stuff he has gone through. My personal opinion.
I was a caregiver for my mom
Yes.
for several years growing up.
Uh,
Um, I'll say
She
this.
had some major health problems. I went to a lot of doctors.
Stoba was able to predict the condition that I have before my doctors were able to. It was amazing.
That's right, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, you told me your symptoms, and I was like, I'm gonna look this shit up.
yeah. He found it. Yeah, a rare
Yeah.
condition. It's crazy. Um,
Well, nerve pain is my specialty. That's what my mom had, so I was like,
mm.
this is totally in my wheelhouse.
So, I think we've trashed on Trump and his lying a good amount. Uh,
Not nearly enough, man.
no, no.
we haven't even gotten into the pedophilia stuff.
I was gonna segue into
There's
that.
pedophilia stuff. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
the Epstein files.
I've been out of the loop.
God, man, there's no way you've been out of the loop. That,
Another one of my
yeah, I was
lies.
gonna say another one of your lies. It's just so good at it. Anyways, so Jeffrey Epstein. If you don't know who Jeffrey Epstein was, Google it. But basically, he ran an island. Uh, he didn't run an island. He owned an island that was backed by. I won't go into detail because I don't have enough good enough facts to say, and don't want to shoot myself in the foot. But
You
basically,
spout enough facts, someone else will shoot you.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
basically would have high stakes. No, people in high positions of power or access to high positions of power would go to this island with him and have sex with whatever the fuck they wanted to. I was gonna say kids, but there's one that always stood out to me, and that was Stephen Hawking's, which I was surprised about. Um,
Oh, was he part of this crew?
yes,
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
yes. I remember people made fun of once it came out. People were like, "Oh, that's why nobody from the time travel party he threw showed up because they didn't want to be associated with him." He used to make
I always heard he was like a legendary hornball.
really. I didn't know that. He. What I learned from it was that he would have little people solve math equations on a chalkboard naked, and
Are you kidding me?
he would watch. Yeah,
Oh, that's a specific kink.
a little bit.
Oh,
Um, I mean, I'm sure
Well,
that.
you can't say
Go for
you can't say that he didn't care about the future of their education, at least, right?
it. Yeah, and I'm sure he probably did more, um, or I would assume. But
that's like so innocent though. Like you can't even knock that.
you don't know how old those little people were though.
I was assuming they were 18.
I,
Is that not the case?
I don't know.
Oh shit.
I didn't read. I never read too much into it. Besides that, and I mean the fact that you're there implicates that you know something's going on or that you are part of that something. In my personal opinion, you don't really get to be let onto a secret island of pedophilia and not be aware that there's pedophilia happening.
He probably didn't advertise it as Pedophile Island. It probably had some
No,
friendly, like, easy going name.
like
Part,
pedophile.
I was gonna say like Party Isle, Underage Sex Island.
Underage sex island. Um,
It really rolls off the tongue.
yeah. I like Abe's pedophile, peda island.
Pedophile.
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 I like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably what it would be if it were a video game.
Yeah.
I
It's,
don't want to play that game.
Well,
it's
all the rich
Oh god.
fuckers in America do.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no.
You make over $1 billion. Nothing else can excite you.
Oh god.
God, yeah, that's a big part of it. And the being able to leverage people once you have them recorded there and stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
And I believe that's what um, a lot of it came from, pretty much, is that he that was the plan for him, for Epstein. Um, so again, if you don't know who Epstein is, he got caught, he went to jail, and then he died in jail. Government
He
has,
died.
yes, government. I won't. Well, I haven't seen the videotape, so I can't, say for sure. But the government had released a videotape, which was missing like at least 3 minutes of footage during the time frame that he killed himself, quote unquote. Uh,
They released the footage, but it was missing the scene when he actually killed
yes,
himself.
yeah. At,
Wow.
Well,
at
Good
first,
concrete
at
evidence.
first they said that there was a minute missing because of the time frame that when the recording like resets or something like that. But then after people looked into it more, they realized 3 minutes were missing, and that what they said made no sense at all. So there's still raw footage out there that the FBI has that has the 3 minutes.
Wow.
well, I will say this. 3 minutes makes more sense than one because I can
Hmm.
see someone killing someone in 3 minutes.
Yeah,
1 minute is kind of like pushing it, you know? Like
that's
you gotta get in there, set up the rope, all that, like
hmm that's what I
I think
thought
you
too.
just need like 10 seconds. You need the 5 seconds going in the cell and the 5 seconds coming out of the cell. It's really all about exactly what gets cut.
Well, see, that's the thing too is the footage. Uh, and I could be misremembering this, um, but the footage covered like the doorways, the stairways, all that stuff. So they would need 3 minutes to get in and out. Um, in my personal opinion, that makes more sense compared to 1 minute where running up and down the stairs, in 1 minute compared
That's a
to,
speed run. Yeah.
yeah, um, compared to like two guys just going in, killing, and then leaving. A lot of people think that it's the Clintons and stuff like that, which I could definitely see since like he had a lot of ties with Clinton. Um, but I could see it being just a lot of. I could see it being the people that were funding him and being like, okay, well, you got caught. You knew this was gonna happen. Uh, well, I
Yeah.
so he so with that being said, again for anybody that's listening, uh, the there's always been the Epstein files that the FBI has had, or the Epstein list is what people call it, which is supposed to be a list of everybody that has gone to the island, that has been implicated in so many different ways with Epstein. It goes to the royal family. I know there was a recently released, oh, fuck, I forgot what it was from, I believe, a book that Epstein kept. But recently, there was a conversation between Trump and the Andrew, no, Prince, yeah, Prince Andrew, I believe that's right, where they talked about the island and going there, and apparently Trump gave him some connections to masseuses that were questionable age, uh, basically.
I didn't know the royal family was involved.
Prince Andrew, I believe, is the only one that's been listed so far. But yeah, they even fought, the victims fought him on that a while. Uh, they talked about. I remember the big thing that was like, okay, you're lying. Is they talked about how he something with him sweating real bad in one of the interactions he had, and his response was, "Oh, I never sweat. I don't have the ability to sweat until a few years ago or something like that." Like a very,
What?
yeah. Again, no proof. No,
I'm physiologically incapable of sweating.
yes, this is exactly how they put it. Um,
Okay.
Well, he's so that family is so inbred. There might be some weird physiological stuff going on. Like
yeah,
Fair thing to say, yeah.
fair. Um,
I can't be a pedophile. I can't even get a boner.
yeah, there you go. Um,
My rock solid evidence.
so this list, nobody, they still haven't released it, and they came out and said, well, there actually is no list, even though they said that it was sitting on their desk for them to go through like 4 months prior. Um, so what Trump has said about I mean, he's just trying to deflect as hard as he can, uh, in my personal opinion. But one of the things he said, well, we don't want to ruin people's lives by releasing it. Who, what,
What
why?
what lives are you gonna ruin?
Yeah, I mean, you're not ruining the victims' lives; their lives have already been ruined. Um, and if I was a victim, I would want those people's lives ruined just as much as mine was.
Yeah. I mean, like maybe get the names out there. They could start a GoFundMe, you know.
Hmm.
My life was fucked up by billionaire pedophiles. Could I get some green to make my life a little easier?
But that's the thing is, every every aspect that has been brought to Trump about it has always been about protecting these people that went there, not the people that were used and abused. There's no thought or care about the victims, and I think that is extremely sad.
Yeah.
well, I mean, for the most part, my understanding is there were like brown Asian people, right? Like when you're brown, especially from the elite's perspective, you're like barely a person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very true. Um, it was a sad fact, but yeah. Uh, so to kind of stick with the theme, I believe that I believe that Trump's on it. I believe that Trump is lying as hard as he can, and that he is threatening a lot of people's livelihoods and jobs by holding back a lot of information, just
Yeah.
so that he doesn't have to explain what he was doing. Um, I feel like that's a lie he cannot get out of.
I feel like you're 100% on the right track, but I've
Yeah.
seen him squirm his
Mm-hmm.
way out of every fucking criticism that's been levied against them. You remember when people were saying like the Russians had P tapes
Mm-hmm.
of like prostitutes peeing on them or something?
Yep.
Nothing ever came of that. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. That he's
I feel like
been.
this is just going to be another controversy that's people talk about it for a year and then it disappears, replaced with new controversies.
So, I never heard about the P tapes. Is that why his hair is that color?
Maybe that's why his skin is that color.
Okay.
um. Yeah, I remember hearing that he's been or a conspiracy theory, I guess, that he's been an agent for Russia for the longest time, because they have stuff on him, um, along with certain other countries that I won't go into without having the information. Um, and that's part of the reason why he actually ran for president, in the
Yeah.
past now, is so that he could set them up better, which kind of reflects what's going on. Um, if you want to say, well, he's getting upset with Putin about blah blah, is he really? I mean, the gives them a deadline, and then they don't acknowledge it at all. And Trump just, well, he's making me upset. Oh, fucking do something then.
I feel like part of his strategy about like just so effectively dismantling the federal government has just been to do so much shit that the news outlets can't even keep up with it.
Mm-hmm. That is
Like
a
people
strategy.
have a limited span of attention and you can't report on like four fucking headlines at the same time. You have to find shit to focus on. So if he does four horrible things and one thing gets all the attention and controversy and the other three go through almost unnoticed, he's
He
he's
did his
gained a lot
job.
of fucking ground.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that has always been his way of lying, his way of attacking, and his strategy throughout the
Yeah.
years.
I
Um,
feel like a lot of the tariff stuff that's happened since he's taken office has just been like bullshit talking points
yeah,
to distract from all the other shit going on.
I agree. I think that's very true. Um, God, I had it on my mind. I totally lost it. But it's I believe what he does. He now I remember. So I can't remember where I heard this. Um, I want to say something from like 2005. It doesn't have to do with Donald Trump. It has to do with uh the political stage. Basically, what they talked about was imagine the U.S. government as a body. Now,
Okay.
if you were to dismantle the body, take your arms, take your legs, just start taking apart piece by piece, but in a
Yeah.
quick enough fashion, your mind won't think about, I just lost my arm, I'm losing my other arm. It's now, okay, I lost my leg, I've already forgot about my arms, type of deal. Where
Right.
there's
Right.
an overall trauma done to the body as a whole through so fast and so much that there is no singular focus. It is, okay, we're fucked, and I don't know how
Right.
to parse this. Does that
It's
make
like the
sense?
opposite of like slowly boiling the frog
Yeah,
so that it doesn't even realize that it's dying.
yes. It is,
You just start dismembering it immediately, and it's
yeah,
like, oh fuck.
yeah. You grab it by its leg and then start cutting off pieces or hitting it with a bat.
I really like frogs. I
Uh,
didn't want to imagine that.
Yeah. And
Frogs are fucking cool, man.
frogs are cool.
Why would you make me think of that?
It made me think of baby.
have you
Go for it.
have you seen that one restaurant video thing where they'll cut up a frog or a toad or something and serve it into a soup while the head is still alive and watching you eat it?
Who the fuck does that, dude?
Koreans.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess yeah, it would be Koreans. Yeah.
I, man, food is a wild subject we gotta talk about sometime. I think about like I was watching Gordon Ramsay once where he went to a restaurant and the delicacy was basically like is duck. They take the duck, they cut it up in front of you, all that stuff. It's
What the
served.
fuck, dude?
No, it's dead. It's been cooked, whatever. But they debone it in front of you, and then they take the bones and then they put it in a crusher more or less, and they crush the bones to where you get the marrow and the liquid from that, and then you pour that over the skin or over the not the skin the meat. Um,
Right?
I just the who at what point went, man, I like sucking this marrow out of the bones, but I don't want to fucking I don't want to sit there and suck on bones. I'm gonna crush that shit.
That guy's girlfriend was like, "Tell me your deepest, darkest fantasy."
And he told a lie that he couldn't back out of.
Well, we have the money. We can open the restaurant and do it for real. He's like, "Oh shit, I gotta." Guess I gotta go through with it now.
Gotta find somebody that can make me a crusher that can go on a table. Um,
I should have just said I liked being spanked.
okay, so I think we've talked about a lot of not a lot, a small portion of our current administration. Um, I kind of want to talk about it further in the future, especially with like ice and things of that nature.
Oh, I'm sure we will have plenty of things to talk about moving forward.
I think so too. But let's get some final thoughts for that before we move on to something else. Um, so for me, to anybody that's out there listening, don't trust Trump. Never, never trust him. He is a con artist. He is a carpetbagger. Um, he will take you for your money, and that's it. He will not give you what you want, no matter how much you believe in him and believe the lies that he has circled around you. Uh, he is a pedophile. He is not worth the amount of space and time that we give him.
I totally agree. I think he's completely self-serving. I don't even think he's a white nationalist. I think he's just aligned himself with them
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
because he thrives on the fucking shit show of it all. Like the more craziness is going on, the more he can get done.
There are also a
Makes sense.
group of people that are going to buy into what he's selling.
Yeah. The more of a shitstorm that's going on, like he waits, he like embraces the fucking prison riot because then he can fucking shank people and not get caught.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Abe?
I mean, I agree. I agree. I don't want to get sued, but yeah. And as far as like the Epstein file thing, I think that it goes a lot deeper than people realize.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that maybe perhaps keeping that under wraps is not just for protection of him,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's protecting a lot of people, and it's protecting a lot of people that are also letting him get away with what he's doing.
I agree.
Yeah, I think there's probably an absolute ridiculous amount of money and political influence tied up in that. So much
Yeah,
so that it getting released would potentially like destabilize the government.
right. Look,
Yeah.
the guy had an island. You know how much shit's going on where you need an entire island to get it done? Like, you don't just have some little hotel off in some
Mm-hmm.
remote country. You need an island. Like, how many people are on that island? Like,
That's
it's
a good point.
yeah,
You could do that on a yacht. If you had your
right.
own yacht, think how
Mm-hmm.
many people you could fit on. How many dolphins? You could do anything. To need an entire fucking island.
Yeah. I mean that way you're not trapped with the people that it's go have fun on the island compared to a yacht, which is there's it's easier to hear the screams on a yacht. God, yeah.
Yeah.
If you've never watched there's a few um Jeffrey Epstein documentaries on Netflix, but there was one that I watched that talked about a lot. The one I think her name was Virginia, one of the closest uh, girls that he took when they were young or whatever and used for Prince Andrew. Um, she talked a lot. I think she killed herself more recently, sadly. Uh, but the stuff that the people that worked on the island that would come out and like build a house or build a whatever and like keep upkeep with it. The things that they've seen and talked about was just
Yeah.
wild.
Maintenance guys see a lot.
Yeah, a lot more than they let on, and you're paid for being quiet.
Yep. The help sees everything.
Yeah. So let's transition into paranormal. We're sitting at an hour 14 minutes, so we'll try not to have this be too long, if that's cool with you too.
Man, I'm always ready for the paranormal hour.
I love the paranormal hour. It's great. How about you, Ed?
I love a good dog, man.
Oh yeah,
Alien, UFOs, ghosts.
So,
yeah. After what we just talked about, I think a little bit of paranormal would be nice to
little palate cleanse. Yeah, I
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I agree. Um, so we'll talk a little bit about a few different things. Uh, like I said, I want Atlas.
Oh yeah. Is
Um,
that paranormal? I thought this was your science.
that's more science, yeah, but we'll talk a little bit about that. So people are saying that it's larger than what they originally thought, which is fine, whatever. We've had that before with interstellar, objects. Also, people talk about how rare it is, but isn't this like only the third or fourth that we've been able to,
I think so. Yeah, I think it's the third we've
yeah,
detected. But
uh,
is that because they're super rare or because the detection's just getting better?
exactly. Could this be happening way more often than we realize, and we just are so oblivious to it? Um, and then, to kind of say it's aliens or something of that nature. For me, the time frame that people are placing around disclosure and other things, uh, it just the timing I think has plays a big part of it. I feel like if it was not when while certain other things are going on, maybe people wouldn't even think of it as it could be a visitor of some type.
Right.
Um, I recently read a thing where this guy said that there aliens are among us right now, but they're bad aliens, and that the good aliens are on their way, um, and they're going to basically uh, open our minds to a spiritual level. Uh, if we don't accept them, they'll polar shift the world or something like that. And then he said there's going to be an earthquake um, in Japan, and then the earthquake in Russia hit. Um, very interesting, I would say. Um, nothing I would believe outright. Uh, but again, the timing of people have always said, or have they said, you're going to start seeing disclosure things in 2025. The full disclosure would be in 2027. That there's going to be a false flag during 2025 of an alien invasion near the end of the year. And then again, the timing,
When's Atlas supposed to be passing by?
October 14th, I think.
Oh man.
October 4th.
Halloween invasion.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to see that.
Everything's gonna be totally normal until, it peeks out from the other side of the sun
Hmm.
and it's like it's slowed down and is on an intercept course. Then people gonna be freaking out.
Yeah, that'd be funny. It's just
Funny.
it
It's the
would.
destruction of our entire species, man.
Yeah, we deserve to die. Um,
Jesus.
Agreed.
yeah, I'm
The
big.
only way we'll get justice for Epstein Island. The whole planet has to
They
pay.
just aliens land and they're like the first thing they say is, "Did you release the files yet? We've been wondering."
You fuckers could take care of this. I gotta do it ourselves.
Um, but no, I'm big about, we're a parasite on this planet. We're all we do is consume. We don't give back.
Yeah,
Um,
we're a virus. We don't
mhm,
really reach an equilibrium with our own ecosystem. We
no.
just fucking take and take and take.
I always think about what Abe told me when we played Minecraft together. I was building a house and stuff, and Abe wasn't, and I asked him why, And he goes, because we're the only beings that change the environment around us to suit our needs, or something along those lines. I think Gabe said it a lot better, but that's
Man, it's like when I'm playing Overwatch and I don't do any damage on Zenyatta and people call me out and I say, there's enough violence in the world.
yeah,
Motherfucker, everything has to alter the environment to live a little bit, dude.
oh yeah,
Even bees make
yeah,
nests.
yeah, um,
But yeah, we definitely
Uh,
do it on a scale that fucks shit up.
I think I made a cave instead. Like,
yeah.
like
You did. You put
You
it.
displaced all them earthworms, man. How could you?
I didn't put too many torches down. They could still spawn.
Yeah, yeah. I remember going in there and there was a fucking zombie in there. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
natural environment.
natural
That
environment.
sounds like just a logical excuse for trying to get away with not doing shit.
Maybe,
That's
maybe.
that's how I took it at first, but it was something that always stuck with me. The and I
Abe, why do you live in my house, dude? I spent like hours building this. Hey, it's good for the environment. You know, you should bunk up, minimize our impact. You're saving the world by supporting me, honestly.
yeah, yeah. Um, but it so that too with like aliens. I know Abe kind of chimed in about this a few episodes back. Why would they even want to talk to us? Why, unless, like you said a few episodes back, that we'd probably be food for them, or they need resources of some type. And then how accepting are humans going to be when we can't even accept the person that's sitting next to us because they're a different color or they're because they're talking a different language than us? I mean, these
Yeah.
aliens are going to drop down and be like, "Here's we're going to talk to you in your native language." Um, it really, again, that show from the 80s,
Alien
yeah,
Nation.
Alienation. The I never watched that show from start to finish. I've only seen parts of it. I just remember watching it and thinking show is way too adult for me, because it played in so many of those roles of dealing with
Yeah.
these beings that are similar to us but are very different, um, and how there is hate towards them because they're different. The Why would aliens look at us and go, all right, I want to befriend them, unless we are a resource or they want to sideline us for a resource of some of that nature. Um, but and then what would Earth even have a large amount of that other places don't have besides meat?
It's, that's a dark
I
way of
mean,
looking at it.
I mean,
that's
really, like looking at the everything that's out there in space with what we currently are able to see and view, and how we perceive stuff, there's only been one or two planets that we're like, okay, there might be life of some type on that because of methane or whatever case may be.
Right.
Meanwhile, we know that there's microorganisms and bacteria that we have found on asteroids and things of that nature. So can't eat bacteria, but if you were to find a a planet as ours, this would be a paradise of meat. Not just humans, of course. There's meat throughout. Um, so
You know,
besides,
that's an interesting perspective. I've never heard the meat argument before, but we do have
well,
a lot of biomass.
it would make sense why they're always coming around in farms and shit.
hmm
Cow mutilations.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, maybe they're taking samples to see if it's delicious enough to be worth it, or maybe taking some samples and they can replicate it in a lab and not
Mm-hmm.
have to bother or
Yeah. Maybe they're just doing like taste tests to figure out what's best to farm.
hmm
You know,
Man.
like when you go around, you're like ranking all the nuggets. Wendy's nuggets, McDonald's nuggets, Chick-fil-A,
Mm-hmm. The Earth nuggets are
hmm
just so
Arby's.
tasty. But
Yeah.
so why not? So with that too, like I think about cow mutilations, humans being abducted and mutilated, or whatever. Um, why do we never see it with smaller animals? That to me, that would say that if that was the case, these beings would have to be pretty bulky or in need of a large supply of meat compared to a smaller supply.
I think if they were experimenting on smaller animals, maybe they just take the whole animal, right? Maybe they're abducting rats and fish, just whole scale,
Right.
man. Full
Yeah.
scale. Getting a whole cow into your spacecraft. They could be tiny little probes, man. You know, when you see UFO in the sky, you don't have like a frame of reference. You don't know if that thing's a basketball or a football field, like really high up.
That's true.
You know,
I,
maybe they're just coming down, taking samples, doing what they can, taking off.
God,
But we also
Like
just
the
don't have
alien.
we don't have enough of a frame of reference to like even imagine their motivations.
mm-hmm.
Like when we imagine alien motivations, we do it from a very human-centric standpoint. You know, what motivates us? You know, it's like food and politics and power. And aliens might not care about that shit at all. You know, maybe they're post-biological. Maybe they've constructed a holographic universe for us to play with in, right? It could be fucking a million things. And
Yeah.
it could just be inherently unknowable for us as humans. Maybe our
Yeah, maybe.
reality is so far displaced from an actual physical reality that it'd be like your Sims character trying to figure out what it's like working at Hardee's. Like, you'll never fucking know, dude. I'm sorry, man. You're a video game character. You got 2,800 polygons, and that's your entire fucking life.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna drown you in a pool by just removing the ladder once you go in, and I'm gonna watch you die and fast forward over 5 days.
God, that's rough.
And I'm gonna reload the save and do it again.
That's like
Oh God.
it's like I think I did something similar to that in Sims once. I normally when I've played The Sims, I've never done that except for one time where I made a shack in the back of this very large yard, and it had a heads mage that was so long that the mailman would take like 3 or 4 days to get to my mailboxes next to the shack. Um,
Wow, that's creative.
it was very interesting. So what the person was an not influence, but they would throw parties, invite everybody downstairs to the basement for the food, and then I would remove the stairs while he's up. Well, he's up top, and they're all down
Uh-huh.
there. Um,
Wow.
it
Is
was
there a bathroom for people to use?
no, there's nothing down there, just the food. The food was on the
So
floor.
they can eat. They
Oh
can eat
yeah,
all they like.
yeah, they could eat until it ran out, but everything else was not good for them. That's the only time I've ever done something
Did
like that.
you leave like a knife down there or something?
No, no, no.
Oh God.
Just pick those stairs up and see what happens. Um, I remember stopping because it took people too long to die. I don't think I even saw anybody die. Um, but it was very interesting because like I'd throw the party and I had to end up editing the maze to where when I throw parties, there would be a straight shot to the shack because I would throw the party, then halfway to getting there, they would turn around because time of the day just ran out. I think I want to say I trapped the mailman or somebody in the maze once. It's been so long. But anyways, a little sidetracked. Um, So Atlas, yep, it's coming. I can't wait for it to pass by and see what happens. I bet it's gonna be just a rock, but
I, for one, welcome an alien invasion.
yeah.
I think if I were younger, I'd be a little more scared of it. I'd be like, no, the best years of my life.
Hmm.
But seeing the direction like America has gone in the last like 8 years, 12 years, I, you know, I feel like the best years of my life are behind me. And
Yeah,
yeah, bring on the aliens, man. I'm down for the change.
why
I
not at this point?
yeah, I think that's something we've talked about a bit. The let it happen, see what happens. Um, so Stoba, let's switch over to ghost stories real quick, and we'll end it shortly
Oh,
after that. If you guys are
oh,
cool with that,
yeah, I love a ghost story.
just
I
let's.
only have one good ghost story,
Do you want?
and I don't know if I told it before, but I can tell it very briefly.
Sure,
I
let's
was
go for
I grew up in kind of a haunted house. Like it was built in the 1800s in like a small town on the East Coast. It was a brick house, very stout. And my sister, she had a couple ghost stories where she actually like saw somebody. Um, but I had an experience where I'd come home from school in the fifth grade, so I would have been like, I don't know, 11 or something. And I went in, I was pretty much home alone. I was the first person home. And I went to the master bedroom, like threw off my backpack, laid on the bed. And I was laying on the bed because it was like a mile walk home in some fucking awful heat. And I was laying on the bed, just decompressing, sitting in the air conditioning because it was like the only room that had air conditioning. And I heard my sister come in the room, and I had my eyes shut, and I started complaining my day about my day. And I heard her come into the room, walk around the bed, like three corners of the bed, and go into the bathroom, the master bathroom, and shut the door. And so I complained to her about my day and how shitty it was. And after a couple minutes, she's not responding. I'm like, yo, I gotta piss. I gotta get in there. How long you gonna be in there? No response. I yank open the door. Of course, she's not there. Nobody's fucking in there. But on my life, dude, I 100% heard those footsteps walk around me
it. Hmm.
on the fucking bed and shut the bathroom door. And in talking to my sister years later about that experience, she also had an experience in that same room where she also heard someone go around the bed and walk into the bathroom. And she had a story where she actually saw a guy one time. She said it was like an old timey guy in like a fucking trench coat. And
Hmm.
she saw him walk past a doorway. We had like a real long hallway in the center of the house. And she saw him walk past the door. He was in a black hat and almost a trench coat, something from old timey days.
Hmm.
And it freaked her out so much. She was so convinced there was someone in the house with her that for like 10 minutes she just sat in the living room, like freaking out before she went to investigate. And yeah, she didn't find anything. That house was fucked up, dude.
That is pretty intense, yeah.
How
Um,
about you?
I have a lot of stories. For me, I'll say a more recent one, I guess. Not too recent. A few years back, I was watching this house for my mom. She had to sell it. I was the only one living there. She had me live there, so the insurance went like double or triple what it was because nobody was living there. Um,
Oh,
yeah. I think it went from like $400 to 1,000 or something crazy.
a month?
Yeah. It
What the fuck? That's more than rent.
yeah, it was way too much. It just made more sense. But anyways,
Yeah.
we've always I have a lot of stories with this house. This house, I've always heard something. I've always experienced something. It always sounded like there was somebody upstairs when I was downstairs walking around. You can kind of go the route of, it's creaks in the house, whatever. This is not creaks. There's definitely a difference between the house settling and somebody walking down a hallway. Uh,
Yeah.
so one day it was winter time. I kept the house cold to save money, so I would normally close my door and to trap the heat in. Um, I went downstairs, I grabbed a drink or something, and then I went back upstairs, closed my door, left the lights on because I was gonna go back downstairs to make some food or something of that nature. Um, but I got up and I was watching a show, and I was standing there watching the show, just kind of last 5 minutes of it. I hear footsteps coming towards my door, uh, and I could see the light underneath um, the door
Like the
frame.
crack in the
Yeah,
door. Yeah.
I could see the light underneath it. So I was like, okay, this is going to be a good chance for me to see if there's something going on. Um, because if there's a shadow, it's not on my head, whatever, and I'll be able to open the door and see something that goes on. Um, this footsteps stopped, and I saw a shadow of, it'd be a shadow of like a person. Um,
Right.
whatever. Uh, and it made me freeze for a second. And I was like, okay, there might actually be somebody in my house right now. And then I heard three knocks on the door, just boom, boom, boom. Not strong knocks, but knocks.
Yeah.
Um, I remember thinking, grabbing my phone and thinking, okay, somebody's in my house. I'm gonna call the police. I grabbed my phone, put it in my pocket, kind of had it ready, grabbed my bat that I kept in my room, and I opened the door as fast as I could, and there's nothing there. The shadow like just dissipated. Um, as I opened it, it just went away. I don't know how to put it. Uh,
Yeah.
I remember talking to my mom about it, and she told me she had experienced a few things like that, in that house. She said that she felt like it was an older man that didn't mean any harm, and that kind of you get that vibe too. Uh,
Right.
but similar things like that would happen in that house a lot. Where, like, I remember going to take a shower. I got into the bathtub. Uh, I heard somebody talking, and I at the time we were selling the house actively, and there would be sometimes a realtor would show up unannounced. Very rarely that would happen. I'll say the knocking that I heard before that I just talked about, that happened at 3 a.m. There was no way it was a realtor. This
Three
happened,
in the morning.
yes, yeah, 3 in the morning.
Okay.
Uh, what I'm talking about now, when I went to go take a shower, was like 5 p.m. So I was like, oh man, don't tell me they forgot to tell me. Uh, so I kind of poked my head out of the bath and, said, hey, somebody's in here, sorry, whatever. I didn't hear anything. So I got out of the tub. I put the towel around me and just kind of looked outside, saw if there was any cars. Look, walked the house a little bit. There's nobody there, so I went back to take the shower. Got into the tub. Heard a voice, and then three knocks on the door again, or not again, but three
And
knocks.
three.
Yeah. Um, I remember just kind of being still for a second, and then I was like, somebody's in here. I was like, oh my God, is there really somebody here? And then again, got up and checked, and there's nobody, nowhere. Um, in that
That's so spooky, man.
in that house, I kept having a reoccurring dream that the bathroom lights wouldn't turn on, and that whenever that would happen, um, there would be a being in the shower that wanted to do harm to me, type of deal. Is how the dream
Oh,
kind of
that's
unfolded.
too fucking spooky, man.
Whenever I would have
I
that, sorry, go for it.
don't like that dream at all. I
Whenever
hate it.
I hated it too tremendously because whenever I would have that dream, I would normally wake up and either the lights in the house wouldn't turn on and work, or the lights in that bathroom wouldn't work, which makes no sense. I would always check the breakers, whatever. I mean, sure, it could be just a wiring issue, but the correlation of the dream and that happening was always a little on the
I
spooky side.
think you've given me a new fear. I'm sitting right next to a dark bathroom. Part of
Oh
me
yeah,
just wants to go in and turn on the light.
yeah, yeah,
Not great.
yeah. I hate that feeling. There was, there's one, there, I guess more than once in that same house. Um, Near the tail end of me living there, I remember laying down to go to sleep. Um, I remember being aware that waking up and being aware that there's felt like there was somebody in the room with me. I was a shadow person, like just whatever. Um,
Yeah.
Being at the foot of my bed and watching me sleep. I've had that happen like a couple times while I was there. Nothing too dramatic or too off-putting, because at that point I was kind of good about being able to zone it out. But there was one time where I remember having that feeling. I opened up my one of my eyes and clearly remember seeing a shadow of like somebody's leg, more or less, to the right of me. And then I closed my eyes and I was like, okay, I need to think about something else or confront it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna confront it this time. Um, so I opened up my eyes again to kind of get a base of my surroundings. But when I did that, there was this tunnel of light that shined directly into my eye. Um, and to put you in reference, I was laying in bed, head on pillow. Right side of my head was on the pillow. I had my left eye open, and I was looking at this kind of little space in between the fan I had and the closet that I was in, or that I had also. I mean, um, basically like right underneath the where the fan was, because it was like one of those where it has a base and it comes up and it's a circle of a fan. Um, but this beam of light, this tunnel of light, was just pulsing and hitting my eye, and I don't remember much past that besides closing my eye, opening it again, and still being there, closing my eye, and then falling asleep. Um, it was it's one of those really weird, odd experiences to where I even painted it one day. I need to finish that painting, but um, this it stood out to me. This tunnel of light. It made no sense. Like there's no way that a light could have refracted, or there's no way there was any. If somebody were to shine a flashlight in my eye, that even that doesn't feel right. But it definitely felt like something did not want me to see something. Um, I I don't remember much past that besides that, and it being very jarring. I know I didn't dream it 100%,
Yeah.
but it was.
That's so much creepier than anything I've ever had happen.
I got, oh man, a lot of creepy stuff happens to me. Um, but yeah, that house, I got more stories, missing items. I mean, like I really thought for on and off that somebody had would break into the house, take an item and leave, or type of deal. Um,
Right.
we had this we had pots and pans hanging from the ceiling. Like we had this little rack that would just hang. I remember like sitting there playing Final Fantasy, and then I hear all the pots and pans hit each other, like somebody just knocked them, and then me go down there, and they're just kind of swaying back and forth a little bit. And I'm calling the police, and I look, and there's everything's locked up, nobody to be found anywhere. Check the attic. I mean, I made sure that I was the only person there. Um,
Yeah, I had some like poltergeist style activity when I was a teenager.
mhm.
Like, and it wasn't uncommon for that to happen in my family when you had like teenagers with like big raging hormones and big emotions in the house.
Yep.
Like, shit would get like thrown out of my closet. Like stuff that was up in my closet would like seemingly fall out of it, but would be like thrown across the room and shit.
Man,
Like all the fucking time. It was weird.
it's
Never had an explanation for it.
stuff like that. I feel like is a lot harder to explain away when something physically happens.
Yeah, I had a rice cooker lid explode one time. I was watching TV.
Oh wow.
Like the rice cooker hadn't been used at all. It was just sitting.
Mhm.
It wasn't even plugged in.
Oh wow.
Uh, One time I was sitting down taking a shit, and a fucking bottle in the tub started like spinning around. Like you know how when you rock something and it wobbles back left and right without quite falling over?
Yeah.
It started wobbling like it got knocked.
Oh
And I
wow.
was literally just sitting there pooping, watching it happen. I was like, that is the creepiest fucking thing. I wrapped up my business real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have too. I think in that house I went to go make some mac and cheese. I had at the time I was living like $50 every 2 weeks. So my food
Oh,
budget was very tight.
that's tight. Yeah.
So I made sure to always keep track of what I was consuming. That way I knew when I needed to get more, because I also don't have a car, and I was relying on friends to take me whenever they could, type of deal. Uh,
Yep. It's ramen and peanut butter life.
yeah. So I had 4 boxes of mac and cheese. I remember getting one of the boxes out, just getting everything together. Uh, Then I heard something upstairs, so I went upstairs to see what it was. There's nothing, I couldn't find anything. Came back down, and the box of mac and cheese was gone. I checked to see if maybe I just blinked out that I put it back in the cupboard, but I didn't. There was only 3 boxes left still.
It's a fucking hungry ghost.
I never found that. I mean, I looked everywhere. And to put it in perspective, the house was completely empty except for my room, pretty much, because we were trying to sell it. So there's no furniture in it. It was a very empty house.
Or
So
if there was like a squatter living in the attic
I checked
and you were
Yeah,
just
that
dueling with a squatter.
I checked the attic. Um, the attic was in the
You
garage.
actually did? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
man. I'll talk about when I lived in Germantown, Tennessee, in a future podcast. In the attic that I was not allowed to go into. Um,
Ooh.
but yeah, because of stuff in my past, I knew I needed to either step up or not. So I would always find the courage to check the attic, check the spaces that you would not think to check. Nobody was up there.
That's brave. Attics scare me, man.
I'll, t-
It's
I'll,
all dark and shit.
I'll tell you, man, living in that house and with the stuff that happened and being by myself and how frequently it would happen, um, and the thought of somebody breaking in and all that stuff really helped me
Yeah, you
establish.
kind of have to push through it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You have to rule shit out, or you're just gonna live in paranoia and fear.
yeah, exactly. Um, it did help me like piece that shit out. What about you? Have you got anything?
well. my only real solid one was for, and I'm not sure if I shared this earlier in one of the other podcasts, but uh, when we moved, I moved when I was around 9 or 10 to my second house I grew up in. They eventually built a room over this area that had burned down previously on that house. And ever since they built my room and I started sleeping in there for about 2, 3 years, when I was trying to sleep, I could never sleep easily as a child. I would always just lay in bed for like hour, 2 hours before I could finally sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I would start hearing, the distinct pitter patter of like a toddler running down the
Yes.
hall.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would hear, I would hear that start from the living room, down the kitchen, down into the literally where my door is. So I would hear that every night, and I never really even thought anything of it. Like that's the thing that tripped me out. Like I don't know if it was because of the hour
Mm-hmm.
that it would happen, or just that I was kind of younger and didn't really like even think or stop to think about what was going on. But it was like, well, I just heard it. It just happened, and it happened often, and it happened for a few years. And only later on, a few years later, like in high school, some people are talking, telling ghost stories, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that that probably was not. There, there were no children in the house.
Mm-hmm.
It was me, my mom, and my dad in their room. Like there, so I realized, oh, that probably was something, but I guess I never got the sense of any like malicious
Mm-hmm.
intent, like how you feel like something wants to hurt you
Yeah.
or whatever. I never got any of that, so maybe that's why it didn't really register, like but yeah, so at that house, there was some other stuff, and only later on when all the on family get-togethers where we all started talking about sort of some of this stuff, other people did have experiences themselves. Like they would hear stuff, they would see things. My brother saw like a little like shadow person run through his room from wall to wall.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, so that house definitely has some activity going on. But yeah, it's and again, I have a lot of other stories that other people have told me. But that's my one experience that I could definitely say, like, oh, that definitely happened. And I know it's not as creepy as some of your guys' stories,
I mean,
but
it's
like it's
still.
genuinely like I experienced that shit. Like it's real.
Yeah.
I think any experience that you've lived through and you have no explanation for whatsoever is just creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Like I have a good handful of like auditory ones that I just can't explain, but like visual ones were very rare. I only had one visual thing, and it gave me the spooks, man. I was at home by myself playing on the computer all night long in my underwear, and I heard like a commotion outside, and I was like peeking through the windows, trying to figure out what was going on. What's going on at like 3 a.m. Usually it's dead quiet, very quiet neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walking up to the back window to peer through the had some frosted glass that you couldn't quite see through. And I was walking up to the back door to peer through the glass, and all of a sudden there was this silhouette that lit up as if someone was standing like right in front of the door, like a human silhouette. It was a window from like chest high up above your head, and I could just see the bust of a person outlined for like 4 seconds with like a shimmering red light behind it, like a road flare,
Oh
like
wow.
illuminating the shadow
Yeah.
right into the window. And my first reaction when I saw this wasn't like it's a demon, it's a devil. My first reaction was like, oh, someone's about to knock on my door. I need to put on pants. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
jumping into some jeans expecting a knock on the door. And I get pants on and no knock happens. And I'm like, nobody knocked at the door. Nobody's breaking in. Like, so I open the door and I look. Completely dead. Nobody there. Nothing. Just like a street lamp in the distance.
Yeah.
And I still don't have an explanation for that. And it was pretty creepy in retrospect.
Yeah,
Kind of spooky the rest of the night.
that would creep me out for sure.
Like, I can't even figure out what, like, the source of illumination was.
Hmm.
Like, just that wavering, like, reddish orange light for, like, 4 seconds and strong enough to outline a black silhouette.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Strong enough.
No explanation for that.
Something to outline that
Oh,
person.
it was obviously the portal they were going through.
Don't make me even more afraid of my old fucking memories.
Yeah, I could see. I watched a few things where people talked about that portals, beings coming through portals like that. That would be pretty intense to go through.
I never even considered it was like a portal situation, man. Now I gotta read about people having portal situations. Damn.
Okay, we're sitting at about almost 2 hours. Uh,
No way.
yeah. So we'll wrap it up here. If that's cool with you too. You guys got anything else to share?
I'll save some ghost stories for next time. Paranormal, I was
I'll
gonna come
just
back around.
I'll just leave it. My last words will be like, I still believe a lot of this stuff is
Hmm.
happening a lot more than we realize. It's just we don't perceive it. And, you know, sometimes you get little glimpses, but I think it's all around all the time.
I agree.
I think you're probably right, man. I bet our brain filters out so much more as just like irrelevant data that doesn't make sense, so we don't even process it.
I
Right.
remember watching this documentary about haunting where this I think it was just I want to say it was just a lady lived in this house. She was experiencing bad stuff. She invited mediums, people come in to check it out. Nobody was really getting anything until these two guys came in that recorded everything that happened. Um, and like one of them got thrown up against the wall and stuff, but they were able to uh, at least make it seem like they're able to contact the being that was there. And they asked a few questions about the happenings of what's going on around that being at the time. And one of the things
Oh yeah.
was is there any other ghosts or spirits that the being is able to see in the house with them? And the answer that they received was there are wraths that reach to the sky. Um, the the idea that we are entwined with this spiritual world that we cannot perceive, but we are constantly surrounded by, and we're just unaware of. How our eyes are just not showing it to us. It's
Yeah,
always kind
man.
of stuck with me from that.
Just like dark matter.
Yeah, man. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up then. Um, I think we talked about a few good stuff, man. I, I love the lion segment still, but I'm so sorry I threw you
Oh
under the bus so hard.
man.
I
I
haven't.
feel bad about my youth.
I feel like I feel like this is that's a segment that we should definitely have Kia listen to.
Oh, just have the fans animate it. It'd be a great section.
It would be. It would be amazing. Just you telling outrageous lies to get through a conversation.
I just, I didn't want to make it awkward for people, so
We'll make it
it's for their benefit, not mine.
them not knowing the truth, your truth.
You know what is the truth except what we all agree on, right?
Man, whoever's
Right?
Like you've never actually met me in real life. You know,
Mhm.
maybe I am a pediatric hematologist.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But that's true. That's something I always thought about with like one of our people that's Abe and me think may have catfished us. Where
Oh yeah,
I
I know. Yeah.
she shared a photo that I believe I was never able to prove that she was lying because of that photo. But everything else that she presented to us was like definitely a lie. Um,
Now this sounds like a story for another podcast.